Welcome to Bryer Showcase. I'm Bryer Cisneros, and welcome back to another video. So we're in day 3 of my whole week of uploading at least one video. So today I'm doing my December CD haul. So again, I know I said back in my November CD haul that I was not going to buy any CDs, but as you know, I failed miserably. So I got a lot more. But yeah, so I did a community post, and I kind of did the same thing I did last month. I asked how many CDs do you think I bought this month, and I think the closest one was 30, which is pretty close, but not quite. So the official number for December is 44. So 44 albums in total. So yeah, I really did fail. But you know, I think it was worth it. That's just me though. So I'm going to go through all of them and give my brief thoughts on them. So obviously comment below your thoughts on any of these albums I'm going to be showing. If you enjoy these videos, if you always look forward to these, please go ahead and give this video a like. Of course, subscribe if you're new. So I'm not going to waste any time because we have a lot to get through. So here we go. So first one I'm going to show, and some of these things I've shown before, whether I unboxed them or they were briefly shown in a video. This was one of them. So this was actually in my 60s, my top 30 60s album video, and I showed this, the Guess Who. So yeah, I got it this month. This is the original album Classics. So this has 5 albums. So I have a couple of these already. Of course, I have the Monkees. I have America. I got one for Journey as well, and the Doobie Brothers. But now we have the Guess Who. Funny story about the Guess Who. So I've been meaning to show this. I forgot to show it when I was doing my 60s video, but my mom got this. It's supposed to be a Christmas ornament, but if you push the button, you get that's enough because I don't want this video copyrighted. But yeah, it's just a little Christmas ornament, and it plays American Woman. Granted, this is kind of inaccurate because the Guess Who are Canadian, but you know, it's whatever. We'll keep that there. So yeah, got the Guess Who, and this is one of those bands I've been trying to get into for a while now. But it's good to actually have some albums with them. So I'm going to take them all out. So it has this one. I've talked about this one briefly in my 60s video. Of course, we have Canned Wheat. This came out in 1969. Very good album. Like, I liked it way more than I thought I did. No Time, Minstrel Boy, Undone, Old Joe, Of a Dropping Pin. Strong album, really good, like late 60s rock. Next, of course, this is probably the most well-known album. Of course, American Woman, of course, has the iconic title track, which I just played for you. But yeah, very good album. Not as much as Canned Wheat, because I think Canned Wheat is one of my favorites, I think. But this is still pretty good on it. It's pretty good. Yeah, a lot of good songs in here, pretty strong. Then we have Share the Land, another very good album. Yeah, very strong stuff. Like, it's not much to say on these, but again, they're very good. I really recommend you check the Guess Who out if you only know American Woman. Please go ahead, take your time, listen to all these. I'm going to try to pronounce this. So Long Bonatine. That's probably not how you say it, but I'm just going to go with that. So you have the band. By the way, the title is supposed to refer to the apartment building. That's actually Benatine. That's the name of the apartment building. So they're saying goodbye to it. But yeah, very good album as well. Probably my least favorite in this collection, but has some good songs here and there, so I dig it. This is probably my second favorite. We have Rockin'. Again, just a good early 70s rock album. So yeah, very good. I'm really happy I got this stuff. because like I said, I've been meaning to get into them, but I never really took the time to. But this is definitely a good like starter pack, I'd say. So yeah. And of course, Burton Cummings, great guitarist, great vocalist, really underrated, I must say. And funny enough, Randy Bachman from Bachman Turner Overdrive, this is where he really got a start, because he plays on this album, and I think he would leave after this one apparently. So go figure. Of course, he would go on to form another very well-known Canadian band, which I don't have. So that's probably another band I need to dive into. But let's keep moving. I'll put them to the side here. Okay, next we have, this album came out this year actually. We have Tears for Fears, The Tipping Point. I can't remember if I unboxed, I think I did unbox this one. So yep, this is Tears for Fears' latest album, and this is a really good album. Yeah, I mean, I hear many people say this is a good album, and I agree. A lot of good songs on here. Obviously, it's the band in the current age, so it has a couple of like modern production, but it works. I think it really works for their style. So No Small Thing, the title track, it's a great song. Break the Man, My Demons, End of Night, Rivers of Mercy. But yeah, very strong album. Again, if you love Tears for Fears, I think you'll really enjoy this album. Okay, next, these two were actually well, not really suggested, but Adam from What the Gym, he did a video on these two albums, and he asked if I was going to get them, and I said I think I might. But yeah, I went out and got them. So the first one is Lavender Days by a band called Camp. So CAAMP, so 2 A's in the band name. So if you don't know Camp, they're basically a modern like folk rock type of band. That pretty much sums them up. Like a good folky. They kind of have a little bit of a rock edge, but kind of a bit of a soft rock more so. But yeah, I really enjoy this one. Very good. It's just very good, like easy listening. It's not heavy. It's kind of just songs you play and you just kind of put you in a good mood. And yeah, I think Lavender Days really fits the album. And I like the packaging on this one. It basically like a little mini LP, because it even has a little gatefold. So that's what it looks like on the inside. You have pictures of the band in the back, kind of classy. So yeah, I dig this one. I think, again, if you like folk rock and you don't want, and you're not really into like very heavy stuff, you want something kind of like that'll make you, you know, like I said, like good, like makes you feel good, go ahead and check this one out. Okay, and the second one Adam showed was Colin Hay, Now and the Evermore. So Colin Hay from Men at Work. So this is his latest solo album, and I've never heard a Colin Hay album before. And I'm gonna say I was impressed. Yeah, Colin sounds great. Of course, there he is right there. Yeah, good song, good melodies. I already mentioned his voice. 10 songs on here. It's not a long album. It's pretty short. It's a little bit like over, I want to say like over 35 minutes. So you put it on. Again, you just enjoy the songs, and you know, I had a good time with this one. So yeah, I'm very happy I got this. So Adam, you have good taste. Thumbs up. But yeah, they're good. I think they're worth a listen. Alright, I showed this one before. I unboxed this one in a video. We have John Lennon, Imagine. I'm not gonna say much because I'm already pretty familiar with this album because I've heard it on streaming before. So of course the title track's a classic. Crippled Inside, Jealous Guy, I Don't Want to Be a Soldier Mama, I Don't Want to Die, Give Me Some Truth, How Do You Sleep, of course. But yeah, it's a classic one. It's one of John's best. So again, don't have much else to say. All right, next we have the Beach Boys. So I have another. Of course, I'm going to show them again later. But I bought Sunflower. This is one I've been trying to get for a long time now, and I'm very happy to finally own it. Of course, like I said, I mentioned this again. I mentioned this in a previous video, but I'm prepping to do a live stream with Garrett from Soundless Studios and Nick. We're gonna be ranking the whole catalog of the Beach Boys, and so there's a lot of listening to do. There's 28 albums, so I've been gradually working my way, but I wanted to get more albums just so I have more to show, because prior to this month, all I had was Pet Sounds, Surf's Up, and Summer in Paradise. And I need way more good albums because I really want to outnumber Summer in Paradise. But yeah, Sunflower, I'm not going to give my thoughts on it. Well, actually, I'll give like my brief thoughts on it, because I'll go more in depth on that live stream, but it's a really good album. Really good, worth checking out. Okay, I also got Houses of the Holy, not Houses of the Holy. Actually, yeah, Houses of the Holy. I blanked for a sec, but Led Zeppelin. Again, this was their 5th album. And again, another great one. Of course, you have the good artwork, by the way. I love the packaging on these. Of course, you have songs like The Song Remains the Same, The Rain Song, Over the Hills and Far Away. No Quarter, The Ocean, and I like the crunch. Some people don't like the crunch, but I like the crunch. And Dire Maker, I have to be in the right mood for that one, but it's it's fine. But yeah, always good to have more Led Zeppelin in the collection. So House of the Holy. So here's an artist I've never heard before, but I saw Glenn Kellaway from the Basements show this album before, and he says one of the greatest rock albums of the year. So the artist is called Skye Wallace, and this is her latest album, Terribly Good. So yeah, I dig this one. It's not my favorite one I've heard in this whole batch, but it's pretty good. She has a good voice, you know, very good guitar riffs throughout. Again, it's just your good. It's like a good modern rock album. Yeah, I don't have much else to say, but it's good. I like it. I dig it. I might need to listen to this one again, because I don't know, maybe I need to. I still haven't fully. I don't love it, but I think it's worth checking out if you're curious. But yeah, I like it. Saxon, Power and the Glory. Really good album again. I mean, I've always been trying to get more Saxon, but yeah, this is a good one right here. Again, just classic early 80s heavy metal at its finest. You have the title track, Red Line, Warrior, The Eagle Has Landed. That's a great closing track. This Town Rocks. Yeah, I mean, Saxon are one of the big names in the new wave of British heavy metal, and they deservedly so. Just like, again, great album. Hold on a sec. I think yeah, there we go. Let me get these ones. I'm going to put these ones together, because these are the BCLTs that I've done in the beginning of the month. So of course I'm going to start with these ones. We have Garrett's from Soundless Studios. He sent me, of course, a quick one by The Who and Live at Leeds as well. Great ones. Obviously I've talked about these albums before on the live stream I did with Garrett and Nick, so I don't have much else to add. So go check that live stream out if you haven't. I'll probably leave a link to it in the description so you can check that out if you haven't watched it yet. Very good discussion there. But we got these two, and of course Nick sent me the Hollies. We have Butterfly and Distant Light. So I mentioned it briefly in my 60s album video, but yeah, really good album, very strong, just good, like late 60s pop, a little bit of psychedelic rock into there, and of course the harmonies are really good. Dear Eloise, Away, 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 Pegasus, Wish You a Wish, Postcard, title track. Yeah, very good album. And this is the last one with Graham Nash before he would leave. So yeah, really enjoyed this album. And I really enjoyed this one too. I think I might like this one slightly more than Butterfly, but not much. This is another good one. Of course, this is after Graham left the band, but there's still some good songs in here. You have What a Life I've Led, Look at What I've Got. Of course, the most notable song on here is Long Cool Woman in the Black Dress. That's probably the biggest hit on here. Long Dark Road, Promised Land. Yeah, I'm very impressed. Like, it's good. It's good to actually listen to the Hollies now, because there's some good songs on here. So I enjoy this. So to Nick and Garrett, thank you for sending me those. I appreciate it. Might as well talk about this one. I unboxed this one. So again, Paul McCartney and Wings, Band on the Run. Again, classic album. Another album I was already familiar with prior to getting this, again, because of streaming. I know this album pretty well. But again, I've talked about this before in the previous video. It's kind of like my Holy Grail album, because it took me so long to get a copy of it. But I'm very happy to own it. I mean, title track, Jet, Bluebird, 1985. Yeah, what has not been said about this album? Great stuff, great one of Paul's best. Let's see, is that all? Let me just go ahead. Let me pull out the ones I've shown before. See, and we also got a couple. No. Yeah, okay, we'll keep it there. I show Colin Hay prior, so let's go to Men at Work. We have this album. So yeah, we have, this is their first or second. I think this is their first album. But yeah, just good old-fashioned 80s rock, bit of new wave. Of course, the big songs on here are Who Can Be Now and Down Under. And all the other songs are really good as well. Not much to say, but it's just, for what it is, it's really good. Like, when I'm in the right mood, this is a good album to put on. Okay, Ringo, with his Ringo album. And many people will say this is his best solo album. I had to get a Ringo album because, I mean, I got many John and Paul albums, and I got George Harrison from last month, so I had to get at least one Ringo album in here, just so I have at least one album from each Beatle. And yeah, I really enjoy this one. I pretty much enjoyed every song on here, really. And this has a couple bonus songs. These were singles that didn't make it on the album, but you have Don't Come Easy as well, early 1970, and Down and Out. But of course, there's Photograph, I'm the Greatest, Step Lightly, 6 O'Clock, You're 16. Yeah, I love this one. I mean, I love Ringo. I'll always have a good soft spot for him. Even though I prefer Paul, like Ringo, I love Ringo. Next, Norah Jones. So, finally have a complete copy of it, because as you know, I have the case, but the CD is missing. But I finally found a complete copy at a thrift store. And yeah, I enjoy this one. I like this one. Very jazzy. I mean, it's pretty jazzy. Has a little bit, not really folk. It's mostly a jazz sort of album. You know, Norah has a good voice. I like her voice. I do need to listen to it again. It hasn't fully grabbed me yet, because many people really love this album. But yeah, I just need to listen to it again. Again, haven't really fallen in love with it yet, but from what I've heard, I like it. Okay, next. Let's talk about the ones that I bought at that record store. So I bought Bob Dylan, Bring It All Back Home. This is the first of his folk rock period, and very good one. I enjoy this one. Of course, you have Subterranean Homesick Blues, She Belongs to Me, Maggie's Farm, Bob's 150th Dream. It's kind of a funny one because there's an outtake on there, which is pretty funny. Of course, it has Mr. Tambourine Man, and It's All Right Ma, I'm Only Bleeding. Yeah, a very strong album. Granted, I still prefer Highway 51 Revisited and Blonde on Blonde, but still, very good album. I enjoy this one. Okay, I also bought Pat Garrett and Billy the Kid, the soundtrack. Of course, Bob Dylan was in the movie. Like I said, I mentioned this before. Like, there's a lot, and after listening to it, it pretty much like summed it up. It pretty much solidified itself. Yeah, it's just a standard soundtrack album. Really, the only reason you want this is just so you can get Knocking on Heaven's Door on CD. I mean, all the other stuff are fine, but again, it's really meant. It's like a, again, it's a movie soundtrack, so there's a lot of instrumental stuff. There are some other Bob songs on here, and they're good, but you know, Knocking on Heaven's Door is the real standout. So I think it's worth getting if you want to complete his discography, but you know, not essential, I'd say. Hey, Traffic. This is their self-titled album. This is their second one. Yeah, I dig it. Of course, I didn't know at the time, but Steve Winwood is in the band. But yeah, of course, he sounds good on here. He sings a lot of the vocals. You have Dave Mason as well on guitar, and he also sings. Yeah, a good late 60s rock album. Yeah, nothing really groundbreaking or anything, but for what it is, it's good. I like it. Wishbone Ash. This is their first album, self-titled. So, really good album. So this is they're kind of a blues rock / progressive rock band. Of course, you have a lot of twin guitars, because like I mentioned, they're the pioneers of that. I don't think they're the first, but definitely one that really popularized it, that many bands would follow. But yeah, a good album. Very strong debut. Again, very bluesy. The first 4 tracks are pretty good, like good hard rock numbers, again bluesy. But then you get to the tracks 5 and 6. These are the long songs. So track 5, Handy, is 11 minutes, and track 6, Phoenix, is over 10 minutes. So again, this is where the prog comes into play, and they're very good. Like I said, very strong. I definitely am interested. Like Wishbone Ash, all I've heard is this album and Argus, and I've enjoyed what I've heard so far. So yeah, I'm impressed. I think it's worth checking out if you're curious. Okay, the Beach Boys, once again, I'm not going to go too in depth because I'm going to save it for the live stream, but I got this little compilation CD. So this compilation has 2 albums. So disc 1 is Carl and the Passion So Tough, and on disc 2 you have Holland. And again, I'm just going to keep it brief, but very impressed with those 2. Yeah, I mean, if you've been sleeping on the 70s Beach Boys, yeah, go check these out. Along with Sunflower. Like Sunflower, Holland, Carl and the Passions, I think they're really worth checking out. So, good stuff. Very good stuff. Jackson Browne with his self-titled album. Of course, even on the CD it says saturated before using, but in actuality it is a self-titled album. Yeah, Jackson Browne gets brought up a lot in the VC, and wanted to check him out, and yeah, I love this album. Like, no bad songs on here whatsoever. I was not bored. Every song is very memorable. Yeah, awesome album. I definitely get the hype around Jackson Browne. Just a good singer-songwriter, very folky, a bit of country rock to it. Yeah, it's a good album. Go check it out if you have not. Joni Mitchell, For the Roses. So this is kind of it's kind of like a transitional album, I'd say. So this is the follow-up to Blue, but this is the album before Court and Sparks. So I'd say this is like a transitional album, but still a very good one. So this is where the jazz is starting to creep in a little bit, not fully yet, but you still have the folk that she's been known for. But yeah, a strong album. Very good stuff here. There are some songs that aren't as memorable as, say, Blue or Court and Spark, but you know, they're good listens still, and I still think I'm very happy. I'm still glad I got this one. So, I mean, it's always good to have Joni in your collection. Okay, Deep Purple, Stormbringer, and and if you remember, the original case was all dirty, but I've since replaced it and now it's all clean. Yeah, very good album. Another one I'm like, wow, I'm impressed by this. I think I still prefer Burn, but this is still very good. So Glenn Hughes and David Coverdale on vocals, great duo on here. Like I said, this one has a slight more of a funk element to it, which is kind of different for the band, but I think they do it really well. But it still rocks hard. When it needs to rock hard, it still goes for it. And Richie Blackmore, still incredible guitarist on here. Of course, this is the last album he would appear on until Perfect Strangers. But yeah, great album. Very good one, very good one. Okay, Peter Gabriel with his 4th album, also known as Security. Really good one. Another, again, I'm sorry if I'm starting to sound like a broken record, but I'm just trying to just roll with it. But yeah, very impressed with this one as well. Of course, the only song I was very familiar with was Shock the Monkey, which is the biggest hit on here. But the other songs here are really good. The Rhythm of the Heat, San, I kind of wish I looked up how to pronounce this. San Juancito, whatever. You know what I'm talking about. The second song. I Have the Touch. Wallflower is a really beautiful song. Kiss of Life. There are a couple songs that I feel drag a bit too long, like The Family and the Fishing Net. That's like 7 minutes long, but I feel like they could have just shortened it a bit more. Same thing could be said with Lay Your Hands on Me, but everything else is really good. So yeah, I'm glad I got this one. And the last one I got from that record store was Billy Joel, The Nylon Curtain. Very good. Not my favorite one I've heard. I think side 1 is definitely the strongest side. You have Allentown, Laura, Pressure, and of course Goodnight Saigon. And She's Right on Time is also really good. Side 2 is not as memorable or as strong, but they're still good songs. They're still good. Like Surprises, Where's the Orchestra? Yeah, I like it. It's not my favorite, but still enjoyable. So that's all the albums I bought from that record store. Let's continue on with everything else I have. I've shown this one recently as well. Velvet Underground and Nico. Again, very influential album. I mean, it has Lou Reed on it, so I'm gonna love this. So yeah, I should probably mention, like, I'm already pretty familiar with this album anyway. Of course, streaming, of course. But yeah, it's weird, it's out there, but I enjoy this. Of course, you have Nico as second vocalist on here, and I like her voice quite a bit. I know some people might not like her, but I like it on here. But yeah, Sunday Morning, I'm Waiting for the Man, Femme Fatale, Venus in Furs, Heroin, I'll Be Your Mirror. Yeah, it's a classic one for a reason. Definitely deserves the status it has, in my opinion. Here's an artist I've been kind of obsessed with lately, and that is Wise Blood. So I bought her, of course I have Titanic Rising, and I have her latest album that came out this year. So I decided to get another one of her albums, and this one is called From Front Row Seat to Earth. So this came out in 2016. Very good. Obviously, Titanic Rising and the one after, absolutely love those albums. This is good, but you're starting to see this. I kind of see where she was heading, because this is good. It kind of has that. If you know Wise Blood, it has the things she's known for. But I feel like the songs aren't as memorable as she would do after this. But you know, Diary's a good song on here. Let me see. The track listing is. I need to find the track listing. Diary's pretty good. I like that one. What else? Used to Be. Do you Need My Love? Yeah. Again, you can see where she's going, but just hasn't quite reached it yet. But still enjoyable. Glad I got it still. Got a cough. I've been talking a lot. But this next one I'm going to show. So if you've been paying attention to what's behind me, I'll go ahead and bring it up. Sorry if the light blinded you there. But Garrett sent me this. It's Juice Newton Greatest Hits. And for some reason, I don't know why, but part of me kind of really wanted to check this album out. And since I don't have a record player, I went and bought it. I went and bought a CD copy of this album. And what's kind of good about the CD is it actually comes with more songs. So let me see how many songs are on this one. You have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 songs on this. But on the CD, you get 15, so you get more songs. So that's pretty cool. That's why CDs are better. No, I'm just joking. Just messing around. Don't take it seriously. I'm sorry, I have people who have vinyl. Don't unsubscribe. Anyhow, back to this. Call me crazy. I actually kind of like this. I actually really enjoyed this. You know, Juice Newton, for those who don't know, she's kind of a cross between pop and country. So take that for what you will. You might like it, you might not. I actually kind of liked it. I like her voice. And funny enough, when I was doing research on her, apparently she lives in San Diego. So hey, who knows? Maybe I'll run into her one day. I doubt it, but never say never. But yeah, some good songs on here. Again, a lot of pop, very poppy, but still had a country undertone to them. But yeah, I enjoy this one. I mean, again, she's probably not going to be for everybody, but I like it. That's all that matters. All right, next, I got some Foreigner. So for a while, I've had just the debut, Double Vision, and 4. That's all I've had, which is funny because back in January I bought that's when I bought Double Vision, and so we're kind of finishing the year with Foreigner. But yeah, I bought Head Games, plural. Kind of the album cover is not that great because, you know, I'm not sure what's going on here. I hopefully it's not too dark, but album cover aside, I love this album. Like, I enjoyed every song on here. Dirty White Boy, Love on the Telephone, 17, the title track, The Modern Day. That's a good song. That song you have Mick Jones on lead vocals. Of course, usually Lou Gramm's the lead singer of Foreigner, but especially early on, you had Mick Jones singing on a couple tracks, and The Modern Day is a good one. Blinded by Science, and it finishes out with Rev on the Red Line. Yeah, very good album. I love this one way more than I thought I would. And I also went and bought this one, Agent Provocation. Originally, I just bought this because it has I Want to Know What Love Is, and I love that song. But all the other songs are really good as well. Very strong. Again, some people don't like this era of Foreigner because it's kind of not as like hard rocking as the previous albums, but personally I don't mind. It still sounds good to me. But Tooth and Nail is a good one. That was Yesterday. Growing up the Hard Way, Love in Vain, She's So Tough. Yeah, a very good album. I like it. I like Foreigner. And we're almost done, actually. We're almost done. Let me just see how long we've been recording, because I feel like I haven't talked that much. Okay, about half an hour, roughly. So, not too bad. So, of course, I bought some Rolling Stones this month as well. I'm going to leave a link to the Rolling Stones live stream I did with Garrett and Nick, because I talked about these albums there. So, I'll make these brief. So, Beggar's Banquet was one. Very good album. Funny story, because I used to not like Sympathy for the Devil when I was a kid. I don't know, I just found it annoying. But now I'm a bit older. I have a much newfound appreciation for that song. It's kind of dumb. I can barely see the track listing. You have No Exception. That's a great song. Street Fighting Man, that's another one I really enjoyed. The Salt of the Earth. I'm trying to... Prodigals. My reading skills are not working today. I'll just look at the disc itself. That's much easier. Dear Doctor, Parachute Woman, Stray Cat Blues. Yeah, good album. Then it's been a long night. Goat's Head Soup. Really good. This is probably a very underrated album, I must say. So let me just see the track listing. Dancing with Mr. D, 100 Years Ago, Coming Down Again. That's a great underrated song. That's a Keith Richards song number. Very good one. I love that one. Of course, that's Angie, probably the most well-known song on here. Silver Train, You Can Hear the Music. Star. I know kind of a spoiler for that live stream. Garrett and Nick aren't a fan of Star, but I like Star. It's very catchy. You know, I just like the chorus. I'm a star, I'm a star, I'm a star, you know. I know lyrically it's kind of, you know, it's out there, but you know, it's Mick Jagger. I mean, that's how I always see Mick Jagger. He's a star. Here's another underrated album. It's Only Rock and Roll. Yeah, good album. If You Can't Rock Me, Ain't Too Proud to Beg, Till the Next Goodbye, Luxury, Fingerprint File. Yeah, very underrated album. I don't have much else to say, but go listen to that one. And the last one I got is Some Girls. Yep, another classic one. Of course, it has Miss You. Beast of Burden, another well-known song on here. When the Whip Comes Down, that's a great song. Lies, Respectable, Before They Make Me Run. Yeah, another classic Rolling Stones. So I'm very happy to have more Rolling Stones, and who knows, maybe I'll get more in the new year. We'll see. But yeah, I'm very happy with those. Okay, we already have 3 left. So next we have Black Sabbath once again. Another album I've been meaning to get for a while, but finally getting around to it. We got Heaven and Hell. So this is the first album without Ozzy Osbourne. This is when you have Ronnie James Dio. So here it is on the back. You can see Ronnie right there. This is a 2021 remaster of it. So this is a 2 CD pack. So you open it up, you get all this stuff. So disc 1 is the original album, and disc 2 has a lot of the bonus stuff. A lot of live stuff, mostly on the second disc, but still interesting. Yeah, good album. Yeah, obviously I'll always go for the Ozzy era, but I mean, I love Ronnie James Dio, so I'm always gonna love him. So I'm gonna love him whatever he does. So Neon Nights, killer opening track. Children of the Sea, Lady Evil, the title track is a classic. Die Young, Lonely is the Word. Pretty much every song basically, like the whole album is good. So yeah, very happy to finally have Heaven and Hell. Alright, the last 2 are the last 2 CDs I bought that arrived. Dire Straits. We have Making Movies. Some people say this is their best. I don't know. I've not heard every single Dire Straits album. This is my first time actually. Because obviously I know the Sultans of the Swing. That's the big song I know. But yeah. Mark Knopfler, really great guitarist, love his style, and he has a pretty cool voice, kind of very Bob Dylan-esque, but still very, very good. I enjoy it. Tunnel of Love, Romeo and Juliet, what a great song that is. Skate Away, Espresso Love, Hand in Hand. Yeah, very happy to finally have Dire Straits. And then the final CD I bought for December, and it's kind of fitting because this is the last CD to actually arrive. So this is the final CD of 2022. That album is Tusk by Fleetwood Mac. So obviously I wanted to get this album mainly because, you know, after Christine's passing, I wanted to get another Fleetwood Mac album, and I decided to go with Tusk because I've always heard kind of polarizing things about Tusk. Some people absolutely love this one. Some people say like, not that good. Because, you know, this is the follow-up to Rumors, and, you know, we all know how great Rumors is. So it's obviously going to be very, very tough to follow that up. And they tried. This was a double album originally, so there's 20 songs here. And is it good? Most of it. Like I will say, I know there are some debates on what double album should be a single album. This will be mine. I think this should have been cut down. Because mainly it comes down to one issue, and that issue is Lindsey Buckingham. And again, this might be a controversial opinion because, you know, I love Lindsey. He's a great guitar player, very underrated. And heck, he wrote my favorite Fleetwood Mac song, Go Your Own Way. But for some reason on this album, his songs just don't do much for me. And he's really trying to show like, oh, look how experimental we are. Look, I'm taking influence from Talking Heads and post-punk. Like this is like my pet sounds. And I'm listening to his songs. I'm like, dude, stop trying so hard. Like he's really trying so hard to prove that he's like a great composer and songwriter. I'm like, dude, just stick what you're good at. You're a great guitarist. I just want to hear you play guitar and sing some good catchy songs. And you know, there are a couple songs in here that he did that I liked. You know, like That's All for Everyone. It's pretty good. I Know I'm Not Wrong. The title track is good, but those are probably the only Lindsey songs I actually enjoyed. Not to say they're horrible, like they're not the worst songs I've heard, but they didn't do much for me. It's kind of a shame because that's like half the album. But really the saving grace is Stevie and Christine, of course. Like I love their songs. Like pretty much I loved all their songs combined, especially Christine's. Like we all know I love Christine, but Stevie Nicks' songs are also pretty good. And of course, this has Sarah, Beautiful Child, Never Forget, Brown Eyes. Love that one. That's a good Christine song. Let's see, Sisters of the Moon. But yeah, look, I'm not saying I'm against Lindsey for going in different directions, but I feel like there are some songs like they could have taken out. I feel like it's a bit overblown. But yeah, there's still some good songs. So gotta give credit where it's due. So I don't love this album as a whole, but I can't deny there are still some good songs on here. So I'll probably just pick some songs here and there. Again, I'm sorry if you love this album, but I wouldn't say I'm one of them, sadly. Kind of a down note to end this CD haul, but you know, whatever. So there you have it. That is all the CDs I bought in the month of December. My voice is tired, but I'm going to be talking a lot more tomorrow because tomorrow is Wednesday. And that's when I'll be doing my live stream. It will be the last live stream of the year. And in that video, I'm going to be showing off every single CD I bought in 2022. So we're going all the way back in January and kind of doing a recap on everything I've got. So that'll be an interesting one. So look forward to that. I think it will be I'm thinking about 10 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. That'll give me plenty of time. Hopefully you'll be there. Hopefully you'll stick around for the whole thing. But yeah, that should be an interesting one. So look forward to that. Of course, in the comments below, let me know your thoughts on any of these albums that I've mentioned, especially the Tusk one. That's probably the one I'm probably looking forward to the most. But yeah, of course, I already said like, comment, leave a like, subscribe if you're new. And I'll see you tomorrow. Take care and goodbye for now.